So if you're like me, running on an old machine, old computer or laptop with not too much of processing power or a good graphics card, then chances are your Stable Diffusion install may not function properly. So in my case, what had happened, I was able to successfully download and install Stable Diffusion, a version of it, but because of the laptop that I'm using, it has got that NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 series graphics card. It wasn't working properly, and that's a known issue. So in that case, what do you do? Unless you are planning to buy another laptop, which I wasn't planning to anyways. So I found out there are a couple other things that you can do so that you can still get yourself exposed to Stable Diffusion and perhaps even run it over the cloud, over the internet, and you can get some of the work done that way. All right, so the first one that I want to show you is the Stable Diffusion demo. Again, you can access it directly by going into their URL. It's by Hugging Face, and that's their demo interface. It's very easy to access, and you can start playing with Stable Diffusion from here. The only thing to keep in mind, because it's open access and free access, there could be multiple people issuing prompts, and you'll be put into a queue before your image is generated. But again, this is one great way to get exposed to Stable Diffusion. Okay, so you, as always, enter your prompt and you start generating image. As simple as that. So I do have a prompt that I generated. And I generated the prompt, by the way, by using a free prompt generator for Stable Diffusion. It's called the Stable Diffusion Prompt Builder by Prompt Mania. I'll have the link in the description as well, so you can access that and you can start creating your own prompt. But nonetheless, I created my prompt, and what it reads is Tom Cruise in an F-14 Tomcat waving and smiling, Octane render, illustrated booklet for the global illumination. So let's see how it turns out. I'm going to generate the image. As you can see, there's a queue, then it starts processing, and from my experience, it's not too long. Usually it doesn't take that long for it to generate the image. So once again, this is the quickest way to get your hands on Stable Diffusion, get a sense of Stable Diffusion. Okay, so in this case, because we put in F-14 Tomcat, it seems like Stable Diffusion took that as being the primary focus. So what I'm going to do in that case is I'm just going to take off the focus from that and just say Tom Cruise waving and smiling. So let's see how it turns out. As you can see, it's processing the request right now. All right, so look at that. It came back with a few options here. Just as with Midjourney, by default, it's given us 4 options. And at that point, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. You can select that one, not looking that great, but you can select from the different options here. This one seems to be okay, but the one that I like the most is probably this one here. So at that point, what you can do, you can right click on that image and you can save the image into your local. So you can always do that. I'm not going to do that for now, but that's the way for you to access. So that's the fastest way for you to get your hands on Stable Diffusion by running this demo.